QQ. So what do you guys think of our makeup today? Is it freaky enough? Should we do more? Finally, it's that month of the year where you can be as freaky as you want, paint whatever you want on your face, spread blood all over your clothing, and it was quite therapeutic, by the way. So as you can see, our costumes are inspired by the Grady twins from the movie called The Shining, and this tutorial is gonna be divided into two portions. The first one is the makeup, and the second portion is the DIY of the clothing. But if you guys want to skip the beauty part, then you're free to do that, but please don't. So before we jump into the tutorial, we quickly want to introduce this 애니쿠션 cream filter that we received from Etude House, and the one that we use in this tutorial is this Petal color, but there's also option of vanilla and beige. So actually there's a total of 5 colors, but we received only these 3 products, and we decided to use the Petal colors because it seems to be more suitable to our skin tone. We also received this cushion brush, and it's really soft, and thanks to this trapezoid shape, it really helps to create a better coverage. And also because this cushion's consistency is very liquidy and creamy, it's really easy to blend it with the brush, so these two pair are a perfect combination. So yesterday we found about this cool feature in YouTube where we can hold a poll to ask you guys a bunch of random questions, and the icon for that poll will be either on here or there. Yeah, we're gonna ask you guys like random questions such as what kind of DIYs you guys want to see in our channel next, or what kind of places or things you guys want to see in our vlogs here in Korea, and just probably ask you guys some stupid questions because I like stupid questions. We hope you guys participate and let's engage more, and this is a great chance to hear your voices. Okay, let's become Grady twins. Come play with us.
Pick up some foundation with the brush, and starting from the center of the face, I'm going to blend them outwards. It's quite oily, which makes it a perfect consistency to blend it with the brush, and I would highly recommend to anyone with dry skin. However, for people like me who has oily skin, I wouldn't really recommend it. Thanks to its net filter, the solution distributed very evenly on the pump, which really helped to avoid cakey makeup. Using the contour stick, let's give some definition around the nose and at the forehead and create hollow cheekbones. I prefer using my fingers to blend rather than using sponges. Now let's set the contour with the contour powder. I don't usually do my contour this dramatically, but in this case, the deeper the contour, the better it is. Dab a generous amount on your brush and apply it all around your eye. This is going to be our base color. Don't forget the under eye. Now using this slightly reddish brown color, I'm going to start giving definition around my eye socket. Using the brown color, add more definition around the eye socket and drag the color down to create a dark circle. I'm starting to look like dead people, so that's a good thing, right? Grab a black eyeshadow and finalize the definition process. Try to focus more on the eyelid and between the nose bridge and the inner eye. Using my fingers, I'm blending the edges to make it more natural. With this slightly grayish color, I'm going to use it as a base for my lips. Then using Etude House Play 101 pencil, I'm going to apply this rich dark red color at the inner part of my lips. And of course, you can't forget about drawing drips of blood for Halloween. No matter what the occasion it is, I can't give up my cat eyeliner, so here we go. The easiest way to draw cat eyeline is to create a triangle first and then start filling inside. Using a white eye pencil, fill in your under eye. This will help your eye look more like a doll. Last but not least, girl needs some mascara no matter what. First, trace the center, front, back, neckline, shoulder, side seams, and the waist of your favorite top. Then retrace the front and back body separately and give half-inch seam allowance for every seam except a 1/4 inch for the neckline. To create a collar, keep an eye at the circle point where the neckline and the shoulder meets, and the star point where the shoulder and the armhole meets. We're going to match the circle point together and secure it down so that it does not shift around. Then move the star point sideways so they overlap 1 inch. Now secure it down with the tape and draw a collar shape of your choice, and in this case, I'm heading for a Peter Pan collar. Once you're done, retrace the collar on a separate piece of paper and add 1/4 inch seam allowance at the style line and trim off 1/4 inch seam allowance at the center back and cut 4. Now let's trace half of the sleeve of your favorite top. To create a puff sleeve, retrace the sleeve pattern on a new piece of paper. Then add 2 inch at the top and bottom of the sleeve length and add 4 inch at the width of the sleeve. Now retrace the orange lines and then freehand draw the sleeve cap and the hem in a convex shape and gradually blend the lines into its original lines. To finish off the sleeve, give half-inch seam allowance and cut to unfold. To create the skirt pattern, draw a rectangle with the width that is equivalent to your waist circumference divided by 4 and add 6 inch extra. The length will be your choice. Then draw 3 equivalent lines and cut it from the hem to the top motion and make sure the tip at the top is still attached like so. Spread the pattern as much as you want and tape it on a piece of paper and freehand draw the hemline. Then give half-inch seam allowance all around except for the center front and cut one unfold. To create the back skirt pattern, retrace the front skirt pattern and add half-inch seam allowance at the center back, then cut 2. First, place the front and back bodies right sides together and sew the shoulders and side seams together in half an inch. Then for the sleeves, fold it in half and sew the underarms together in half an inch. For the skirt, place the front and back facing right sides together and sew the side seams in half an inch. Jumping back to the sleeves, fold the hem in half an inch and sew it in place. Once you're done, prepare a lace, and it does not have to be elastic like what I have as long as it is a lace. Next, prepare an elastic band with a length that is comfortable around your bicep and secure it evenly throughout the width of the sleeve that lies 1 inch above the hem. Obviously, the elastic band that you just cut will be way much shorter than the actual bicep of the sleeves. Therefore, you have to pull the elastic bands as you are sewing it in place. Now let's jump into the collar. With the upper and under collar facing right sides together, sew the style lines and the center backs together in 1/4 inch. Turn the right side out and you should end up with something that looks like this. Once you're finished, prepare an elaborate lace and secure it on the collar style line with a pin and sew it in place. To create a gather around the sleeve cap, base stitch all around the sleeve cap. In other words, create a long loose stitch without back stitching at the beginning and at the end of the stitch. Grab one thread and start pulling it to create a gather. You should end up with something that looks like this. Next, sew the sleeves to the armhole of the bodies in half an inch, and the key to sewing this is pinning meticulously as possible. Puff sleeves are finished. Repeat the exact same base stitch at the waist of the skirt to create a gather. Once you pull the thread to create the gather, sew the waist of the skirt to the waist of the bodies in half an inch. Then sew the invisible zipper at the center back of the dress. You'll most likely end up with an excess at the top of the center back, so go ahead and cut it off. Then place the tip of the front collar to the center front neckline and the tip of the back collar to the center back of the neckline and secure it with a pin. Make sure to repeat this for the other half of the collar. Before sewing them in place, prepare a bias strip that is 1 inch thick and fold it in half. Then place it around on top of the collar that you have just pinned in place. Once you're done pinning, you should end up with 3 layers of sandwich. Now you're ready to sew the 3 layers together in 1/4 inch seam allowance. Once you're done, trim off the raw edges, press it towards the bias strip with an iron, and turn it over to the correct side of the dress and stitch the raw edges in place close to the previous seam line. Next, we're going to sew the bias strip on the bodice to keep it in place. This way, it won't poke out through the neckline. For the skirt, mark 5 inch up from the hem, then place a strap of lace on top and sew it all around. For the hem of the skirt, I simply fold it in half an inch and sew the lace on top of the hem all around. Last but not least, prepare a red paint. Here I'm using a watercolor which seems to smudge more easily than acrylic paint. Protect your hand with a plastic glove and start going crazy with the paint all over the dress. Honestly, I was a bit hesitant to smudge paint all over the dress that I've made it so hard. It was really painful to be exact. Anywho, now you're finished!